Our guest today, until last week, served as president of Nicor Gas. She's going to tell you about her new promotion, which we are thrilled about, and let's give her a round of applause for her new promotion, and then I'll go on. Congratulations, Beth. Nicor Gas is the largest natural gas distributor in Illinois. She is responsible for ensuring that natural gas safely and reliably reaches more than 2.2 million homes and businesses in 656 Northern Illinois communities. Our guest today is the first woman to serve as president of Nicor Gas and as CFO of the parent company, AGL Resources. Our guest today is a champion for diversity-related initiatives. She is a graduate of St. Andrew's Presbyterian College and the University of Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the City Club of Chicago, Beth Reese. Beth? Oh, here. I'm sorry. You got it? There.
I got it. I suppose that should be my safety moment. Good afternoon. And it's a real honor to stand before you today, and it's so much fun to see so many friends in the audience. So thank you all for taking time out of your day to come and spend it with us. It means a lot to me. I'd like to thank Jay Doherty and the City Club of Chicago for having me. I'd be remiss as being an executive for a natural gas company to not start with a safety moment, so that would have been a good one. Pay attention to where the steps are, and know that you come up the steps and down the steps safely, because really accidents happen most often at home when you're the most comfortable. So pay attention and always be alert and be safe. So I've always been aware of how rapidly change can happen in the business world, and when I accepted the invitation to speak here today, I had no idea that AGL Resources would promote me to the Chief Financial Officer of the parent company of AGL Resources. I'm very excited about the role, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But it will result, my family and myself, to move away from this home that we've called this place we've called home, and return back to Atlanta. So I'm grateful for this great new challenging opportunity, and in my new role, I will continue to be deeply involved in all things natural gas related. But leaving here is bittersweet, as I've told some of you, because I treasure my Nicor Gas family, a lot of whom are here today, so thank you for taking time out of your schedules to be here with me, and the wonderful connections I have made in the Chicago community, most of whom are in the room today. It made sense for me to talk to you today, however, as the outgoing president of Nicor Gas, because I've worked so closely on a number of initiatives that I will share with you, and because it's a great opportunity for me to tell you about the new president of Nicor Gas, Mr. Melvin Williams. Melvin wanted to be with me today, but he is out of the country honoring a previously scheduled commitment before he jumps headfirst into his new role starting next week. I'll tell you more about Melvin a little later in my talk. 3 years ago, I left Atlanta to assume my new role as president of Nicor Gas. At that time, I was certain of three things: that I would lead a company with deep and long-standing roots in Northern Illinois, that I would be challenged in ways that I both imagined and never imagined, and that my position at Nicor Gas would afford me a unique opportunity to spread the great news about today's natural gas industry and about American, abundant, and affordable natural gas. But the move to Chicagoland also resulted in some remarkable and unexpected surprises. First, ladies and gentlemen, the winters are cold in Northern Illinois, as we were reminded last winter. And thanks to what has now been termed the polar vortex. Anybody know what a polar vortex was before last winter? No. I experienced firsthand what it takes to lead the Illinois' largest natural gas distribution company to serve its 2.2 million customers in 656 communities during extreme weather-related circumstances. And I have to admit, it is a little bit warm today, but I was glad to hear it's going to be down in the 40s this week. Second, I have seen Illinois' elected officials and appointed officials, some of whom are here today, display tremendous leadership and foresight in their decisions that impact the state's natural gas system. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And third, on a more personal note, my husband, daughter, and I felt welcome since the day we arrived. And I appreciate more than words can express the opportunity I've had to immerse myself in activities and organizations that are so much a part of this great city. United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, thank you, Wendy DeBoe. The Field Museum of Natural History, the Economic Club, thank you, Donna Zarconi. The Chicago Sinfonietto, thank you, Jim Hirsch. The Quad County Urban League, thank you, Donata, who's here representing Theo. The Auditorium Theater, thank you, team, for being here today, and many more. Today, I will share some facts with you about Nicor Gas and why a Naperville-based utility is important to the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. But I will also focus on the natural gas industry as a whole and how the tremendous growth and advancement in our industry is redefining what today's utility, what Nicor Gas, looks like. Perhaps the best way to show you what Nicor Gas is all about is to share a brief video with you. And if we could run that video now, it would be great. And there are no words, just music. That video. Three years ago, Atlanta-based AGL Resources and Illinois-based Nicor Inc. completed their merger, bringing together 7 natural gas utilities to create the largest natural gas distribution company in the nation. As the largest of those 7 utilities, Nicor Gas serves industrial and large commercial customers in the Chicagoland area, including Nestle Chocolate located in Franklin Park, the Citgo refinery in Joliet, and Northwestern University in Evanston, just to name a few. Our residential and small business customer base is outside the city, and it covers a 17,000 square mile service area, stretching from Chicago's western suburbs west to the Iowa border, east to the Indiana state line, north to the Wisconsin border, and south to the Bloomington area. This country has moved into a position of leadership across the world in natural gas production. Advanced technology, accessible and abundant resources, and a reliable delivery infrastructure have resulted in increased production and historically low prices. Today, with available reserves and potential resources, or recoverable sources of gas we expect to be discovered, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, reports that there's enough natural gas to meet this country's energy needs for more than 100 years, and some people consider this estimate to be conservative. As you can imagine, shale gas production is the largest contributor to our abundant natural gas supply. And you may not be all that familiar with shale gas, which is actually just natural gas trapped in sedimentary rock. And I'm not going to give you a geology 101 lesson because CFO shouldn't do that. But just know that recent innovations combined 2 existing technologies, hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling, to make it possible to extract natural gas from shale rock. While neither Nicor Gas nor its parent company is directly involved in exploration for natural gas, we do recognize the many advantages expanded shale production brings, including price stability for consumers, more abundant supply, and significant job creation. Natural gas production already supports more than 2.8 million jobs in the U.S., and development of shale resources is expected to increase that number significantly. In fact, the U.S. EIA reports that the shale revolution will account for an additional 2.4 million jobs by 2035. Now, at your table, each of you should have a copy of the American Gas Association's 2015 playbook. This is an outstanding source of information about the industry, and I hope that you will spend a few minutes looking at it after I finish the speech. Stable prices, abundant supply, and growth in the economy have created a strong natural gas industry, which in turn has given the team at Nicor Gas a solid platform from which to continue providing natural gas to customers safely and reliably. At Nicor Gas and at AGL Resources, safety is our #1 shared value. It is essential to everything we do in every part of our business. Allow me to put into context the magnitude of the commitment required to safely operate our natural gas distribution system. It might not surprise you that if I tell you there are 2.6 million miles of paved roads in this country. We all drive on those roads. They are visible to us. But did you know that the United States has 2.4 million miles of natural gas pipelines, none of which you can see, hopefully? At Nicor Gas, we operate, maintain, and inspect more than 34,000 miles of underground distribution system that is connected to 7 interstate pipelines and 1 intrastate pipeline. We also own and operate one of the largest underground natural gas storage systems in North America. Our commitment to the safety of our people, the public, and our pipelines is a standard to which all of us at Nicor Gas and AGL Resources are held accountable. Not only are we subject to our own internal controls, but we are also subject to rigorous regulatory oversight. We certainly welcome the opportunity to work with our Illinois regulators and state legislators to address the need for a safe pipeline system. In fact, as a result of decisions made by the General Assembly 2 years ago and the resulting approvals by the Illinois Commerce Commission, Nicor Gas has embarked on a natural gas system improvement initiative, which we call Investing in Illinois. This project will replace hundreds of miles of distribution pipe and update our natural gas delivery system. The General Assembly's passage of the Natural Gas Consumer Safety and Reliability Act in 2013 was the first step in the process that led to investing in Illinois. Some of you here today have been involved in the decisions that made these system improvements possible. Some of you here today are involved in the process of putting in place investing in Illinois. And we very much appreciate the leadership and foresight of Illinois' legislative and regulatory leaders. So I've talked with you a little bit about a healthy natural gas industry helping shape today's Nicor Gas and about safety being our top priority. But there's another priority that is also very important to our company, diversity and inclusion. I speak to you today as someone who was the first female president of Nicor Gas and is now the first female CFO for AGL Resources. You can tell I'm getting used to that new title. I know from my own professional experience the importance of an inclusive corporate culture that understands the value a diverse workforce brings to the company and to the communities it serves. At Nicor Gas, diversity makes good business sense, but it is more than that. It is about strengthening communities, building careers, building businesses, and being an economic driver. To that end, in 2014, we created our Prime Partner Pipeline. I think they created that name just to make it hard to say. An initiative to ensure that our major supplier partnerships reflect our corporate commitment to diversity. This initiative provides second and third tier suppliers with the tools and resources they need to become prime partners with Nicor Gas and with the entire AGL Resources organization. This year, we committed to increase our spending with minority, female, and veteran-owned businesses by at least 20%, and we are on track to meet that goal. We are proud of the results our numbers reflect, but we are equally pleased with the relationships we have fostered and the advocacy and development activities that take place because of those relationships. We have taken our commitment to diversity and inclusion to the Business Leadership Council some of you who are here today, the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council, Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce Convention, thank you, Larry Ivory, and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development Symposium for Female Business Owners. We've also worked with the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the Illinois Federation of Women Contractors, to name a few. I hope I have convinced you that Nicor Gas is working hard to be a company that all of our stakeholders, employees, customers, suppliers, investors, and neighbors can be proud of. One source of our pride is the very real fact that my industry and my company has successfully promoted the efficient use of natural gas. Are you aware that the 65 million small commercial and residential users of natural gas in this country consume the same amount of gas today as 38 million users did in 1970? At Nicor Gas, in just the past 3 years alone, we helped customers save more than 58 million therms of natural gas, enough energy to heat more than 80,000 homes for a year, or the equivalent of all the homes in Naperville. Last year, our Energy Smart program was the largest natural gas savings program in the country, helping more than 600,000 customers save 37 million therms in 1 year. So not only are we helping our customers save money, but through the program, we are helping businesses and our network of HVAC contractors create jobs and grow their businesses. At Burner Foods in Dakota, Illinois, leadership attributes growing production and larger workforce at that company to the energy efficiency strategy at Nicor Gas. In Belvedere, leaders at Chrysler Group, one of the largest energy consumers in the region, chose to participate in our Energy Smart program because they say that program, coupled with their world-class manufacturing operating system, results in creative energy-saving solutions that will pay dividends for Chrysler for years to come. And in Arlington Heights at Northwest Community Hospital, energy efficiency projects compete with equipment like MRI machines for funding. But leaders there know that their patients benefit most when savings are realized from lower energy costs, resulting in the ability to expedite capital available for medical equipment. Like the companies I just mentioned, Nicor Gas is also an important contributor to the economy, bringing jobs, businesses, and investments to Illinois and contributing to the well-being of our region. We are committed to leveraging our assets and resources to improve the economic well-being and quality of life for the communities we serve. We do that by partnering with our customers, community leaders, and strategic partners to create and retain jobs that facilitate growth and provide a stable tax base. We believe that legislation introduced recently in Springfield would contribute to that goal. House Bill 574 would create the Illinois Business and Economic Development Corporation, a nonprofit entity that would work with the state's Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity to foster economic growth, and Nicor Gas supports this bill. We believe it's an important step in improving the state's overall business climate, and we look forward to working with leaders throughout the state to help Illinois reach its full potential. Nicor Gas is active in economic development, particularly business attraction and retention. Because of the physical investment in the local infrastructure, we have a stake in the economic growth and sustainability of the communities we serve. We are a part of those communities. I stand before you today ready to pass the torch to the new president of Nicor Gas. If you saw the Crain's headline recently, you might have gotten the wrong impression that AGL Resources somehow constantly pulls presidents from Nicor Gas. The fact is, AGL Resources has a very strong group of seasoned leaders. And when the board decided to promote me to CFO, there was no doubt that they would tap an industry and a distribution company veteran to lead Nicor Gas. Melvin Williams will be an outstanding new citizen of Greater Chicago. He has more than 25 years of experience with AGL Resources, part of which was as vice president and general manager for Atlanta Gas Light and Florida City Gas. He has also directed new business development and regulatory affairs for AGL Resources. I hope all of you have a chance to meet him soon, and I know he will feel as welcomed as I did in 2012. I'll close today by emphasizing how important today's utility, Nicor Gas, a company I have been proud to lead, is to the economic state of Illinois, and how important the product is to the economic well-being of the United States. I am so proud to have been part of decisions that will help Northern Illinois continue to grow, and I'm proud to have been a witness to and a participant in the commitment to community service, a generosity of spirit that this company and its employees have. This past weekend, Nicor Gas celebrated the company's 19th Volunteer Day. That day falls within AGL Resources' annual Volunteer Week, an enterprise-wide effort involving thousands of employee volunteers and hundreds of community projects. In fact, Volunteer Week won the Southern Gas Association's 2015 Community Services Award. Commitment to growth, to community, to nurturing an inclusive workplace, all of those factors have made Nicor Gas today's utility. Expect more from this wonderful company and its team of more than 2,000 dedicated employees. Thank you so much for being my friend, for being here today, and for the honor of allowing me to address you today, and for partnering with you since 2012. I wish you all the very best, and thank you. Be careful, there's no steps here.
I've been pre-DARPed, pre-disastered. Well, if you have questions, I don't know, that was kind of stumbled a lot in that speech.
Thanks.
You can see why she promoted it. That was very eloquent, very good, and of course, we're used to that at the City Club, right? You're supposed to say yes, 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 yes. The lady's leaving, you know. All right, if you have any questions, raise your hand. We have they're all your friends. They're not going to ask you anything.
Maybe they can ask me a softball, too. That'd be okay.
Okay, anybody? This has never happened. Ergo, the moderator will have a question.
Okay.
Because no, I won't go there either. It's a big week coming up for us, and you never know, Granger's here, this could be reported. Take it easy, kid. All right. My University of Chicago friends think that the fracking thing is really dangerous. And you are saying that that's the source for all this abundance amount of gas. Explain.
So I'll put the reminder out there, the qualifier, that I am an accountant, not a geologist. But I would say a couple things about fracking. First is that there are a lot of things I could say about fracking. The first is that part of the issue for the folks who are involved in exploration and production is that they weren't as regulated as they could have been when they first started. And sometimes regulation, and for those of you who regulate us or anyone else, a little bit of regulation is a good thing, provides transparency, requires reporting, and I think that's part of the issue with the fracking industry. The other issue, and you'll hear things such as causing earthquakes, has really been how they dispose of the water. They use a lot of water, and if they dispose of it in certain wells, it will create friction and create earthquakes. I would also share with you that the technological advances that have occurred in the industry and in the exploration and production companies themselves is phenomenal. And it's one of the things that really has helped the economy continue to be growing over the past 10 years, and it's something we haven't talked a lot about. But we believe that natural gas will stay very stable in a $4 to $6 range, which we haven't seen 10 years ago. People were trying to figure out every way that they could not use natural gas because they were very concerned with the spikes in the product and the cost. So for our consumers, the fact that we have a very easily accessible, American, affordable, and abundant product is great. And I think we just have a ways to go to continue to make sure that the general public is educated about what the fracking process, hydraulic fracturing process is or isn't, and also to create some more transparency on it.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, you're supposed to write it out, but what the heck, we're desperate. By the way, walk through, if you have a, you know, the microphone probably would help. If you have a business card, just drop it in the infamous fishbowl, big prize, and it will not, and it'll be in Chicago area. Okay, what's your question?
I don't have a question, but I would like to compliment you and make reference to two companies in the Rockford area. I'm Nancy and Loretta, and the Berman company in particular, I have a very deep affection for them. I'm a past chairman for Work
Well, thank you. We are proud to serve a very broad range of the region, so it's nice to be able to remind folks of that. Thank you.
Okay, but we have our first and
Oh,
last
there we go.
question.
Okay.
Remember, the fishbowl, big pride. I know a lot of you swells out here probably wouldn't want those gift certificates to let us entertain you in Mariano's, but for those of you, employees, put your card in the damn bowl, will you? All right. Anonymous, breaking all City Club rules, but then again, we don't have any other questions, Beth. And it's an easy one, because you're to be the CFO, you can knock this out of the park.
Oh, great.
What's the future of natural gas vehicles?
The future. That's a very interesting question. Natural gas vehicles they were back in favor, if you would, really strong about a year and a half ago because oil prices were so high. And so the economics made a lot of sense. But we're seeing a lot of demand for natural gas vehicles to continue even in light of the economic change because of the impact to the environment. So the fact that you can have fewer emissions, they're quieter, and all the other benefits of using natural gas, and it's a stable price, we're seeing a lot of demand. Not what we did a year and a half ago, but we continue to see it. In fact, I was reading in one of our news articles this morning that Naperville just switched its trash hauler, I happen to live in Naperville, its waste hauler to waste management, and they will be using natural gas vehicles. So I think we still see a lot of swell. There's a lot of new products being delivered. A lot of the original equipment manufacturers are really still trying to drive forward what that looks like, both on long-haul trucking as well as short-haul and shorter return to base equipment. It makes a ton of sense for waste haulers because they drive the same route. They're much quieter, although we keep hearing things like people don't like it so quiet because then they don't know the trash is coming, which is very funny. So I think there's a future. It's a little different economic impact, but I think there are some other overriding concerns that people are worried about, and we'll continue to get pressure from that. I think we see it in some of our communities who are very focused on what can they be doing from an environmental perspective, and natural gas vehicles are a real answer to some of those questions.
Good answer. How about a round of applause? We have party guests.